Today I fly on one of Europe's forgotten airlines with a very red cabin to the country in the EU that is often forgotten about. Yes, today I fly on KM Malta Airlines to the bottom of Europe. Welcome to Brussels Airport, where KM Malta has a few check-in counters for your bag. Unfortunately, checked luggage is not included on KM Malta Airlines, so a backpack will do for this trip. After passing through security, I can see the famous rocket at Brussels Airport. And after that, I walk to my gate, where I see my airplane already waiting to take us down to Malta. This plane, which is registered 9 Hotel NEO, was formerly owned by Capital Airlines in China, which somehow never operated it. Then it went to Air Malta, the former carrier of Malta, which we'll get to in a moment, and after that collapse, it came to KM Malta Airlines. It is 7.8 years old at the time of making this video. After stepping on board this Airbus A320neo, I was pleasantly surprised by the seats. The dark color really matches with the outside livery of the aircraft. We have boarded with like 30 minutes to spare before takeoff, which is absolutely insane. That's perfect on-time performance, I guess. And the seat is red. Can you see that? The seat is very red, and I find that super cool. We even have an in-flight magazine on board, but there's a bit of dirt on the tray table, but it's pretty alright, I would say. And the legroom is nothing special, but it's definitely like the plane is 7.5 years old or something, and it's pretty good. And definitely for like 2.5 hours down to Malta today, but I don't know if I would go that much longer on this plane, but it's definitely interesting. You can still see the signs that Capital Airlines has left behind, like this Chinese text on the back of the seats. So now it's time for a bit of a history lesson, and with that I welcome you to Mr. Budgieman's History Corner. In 1973, the Maltese government started Air Malta to be the national carrier of Malta. They started by flying Boeing 720 aircraft and leasing other planes. At their peak, they had 37 destinations all across Europe, North Africa and the Middle East. But then financial struggles came around, and when the EU rejected a 290 million euro bailout to the Maltese government, they decided to shut down the airline and start a new financially healthy one. So on the 30th of March 2024, Air Malta flew its last flight, and just a day later, KM Malta Airlines flew their first one to Catania in Sicily. The airline now operates up to 19 destinations with 8 Airbus A320neos. They also just announced that they will be adding Tel Aviv to their ever-growing network. Now back to the review. I also noticed in the airplane cabin that there's these TV screens hanging, but they're not used unfortunately. And also the idea of a USB-A charging port was there. It was just not really working, and I think I may be the cause of breaking it. Sorry. I then went to the bathroom to check out how that one was. It had a few basic amenities and was overall quite alright in cleanliness, but nothing out of the ordinary. It wasn't long before we started our descent over Sicily and then our approach into Lucca Airport. Now to answer the big question, should you fly KM Malta Airlines? Well, I would say they are a pretty alright airline to come into Malta. They have quite some European destinations and are even adding Tel Aviv. And since Malta is the beautiful little Mediterranean island you have all been looking for, I would definitely recommend to even go visit there. The seats of the airline are comfortable and they even have a business class cabin up front. It's nothing special though, I think it's just a standard business class, but it's definitely worth looking out, as I've also heard positive reviews about that online. The cabin crew on this flight was very attentive and focusing on little details. They came around twice to collect trash and sell onboard food. Unfortunately, nothing was offered for free. That would be something to consider adding in the future. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy our windy arrival into Malta. Welcome to Malta now. We've landed a few minutes ahead of schedule due to our early boarding. And as an av geek, it's always nice to be able to deboard by air stairs and get a glimpse of the airplanes on the tarmac, and in our case, get hit by the warm air. Malta was actually my 24th country I had ever visited. Anyway, we're now here catching some glimpses of the aircraft before getting onto the bus and getting bussed over to the terminal. The airport terminal here at Malta looks really nice and modern and gets you into this island vibe. So this concludes today's video and I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, I would appreciate every like or subscriber, and see you in the next video. Bye.